Who dat, and welcome to Morning Cocktail episode 6. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Today we're going to talk about the Saints, of course, as always. Appreciate all the support. Remember, please visit our website, saintshappyhour.com. Please smash the like button. Smash it, literally smash it, pound on it. As many likes as possible, that helps a lot. Please share, please subscribe if you haven't already to our YouTube channel. And as always, we're going to keep these short little morning videos coming for you guys to give you a little extra content. My thoughts today are centered around Blake Bortles, and you may have noticed the title. Does he have a future in New Orleans? Could he be the starting quarterback? I'm sure that immediately makes people mad. You read Blake Bortles starting QB, you start to freak out. I get that, but just hear me out on this for a second. And here's my theory about Blake Bortles. And Mr. McKay goes, "Oh no, here we go." Callum, I hope it's pronounced Callum. I hope I said that right. But don't do this to us, he says. Hear me out. Just wait a second. First of all, it's a very clickbaity title. So part of it is just putting something clickbaity so we'll get more views, help the podcast, so that's part of it. But I just want to clue you guys into the thinking in the room for the Saints when you ask yourself, like, why would they sign this guy? Like, why sign Blake Bortles? That guy sucks. Like, why sign him to a long-term deal? And I think it's important to remember what just happened with Trevor Siemian. And it's not that Trevor Siemian is a future starting quarterback for the Saints, but consider what he gave to the Saints this year. Now, his starts weren't good, and obviously they lost all of the starts. But he came into that Tampa game, and he came into the second Atlanta game. So he came in as a sub in 2 games and finished the job. Did a great job of doing it. Jason says it's intriguing they signed him to a futures deal, and they must have seen something. Yeah, but I agree. But I think the thing that's important here is that he fits a similar profile to Trevor Siemian. And what I mean by that is this. And I think last year, if you had seen the Saints sign Trevor Siemian, my guess is a lot of you were thinking, ugh, Trevor Siemian? God, why? That guy's awful, right? But here's the deal. Until you have your quarterback situation figured out, I think you reach your hand in the cookie jar as much as humanly possible. And in Blake Bortles, you have a guy that's been to the AFC Championship. He's quarterbacked winning football teams. He's been to the playoffs. He has a ton of starting experience, and he's on a minimum deal. He just signed a futures deal is as low as it gets. So you cut him in training camp if he's not cutting it, no problem. No harm done, no harm, no foul. But the upside here is that I don't know who the starter is next year. It's maybe Jameis Winston, maybe Taysom. Those guys go down. You need someone to come in and fill in for a game. I don't like, and I want to ask this question seriously. Like, did Trevor Siemian make himself money this season? Maybe. He's obviously not going to get a starter's deal anywhere, but with that tape that he put out there this year, how he played in Tampa, how he filled in with the Falcons, people are going to see that tape. Hell, the Falcons might see that tape and decide we need a backup quarterback. We need a guy who can come in and if our starter goes down, throw a touchdown pass, manage the game. Trevor Siemian, we've seen him do that. That's worth $4 million. That's worth 1 year, $4 million to us. He's gone. Just like that, those couple games that he played, he earns himself $3 million. Not a huge deal, but enough to pull him away from the Saints. The Saints aren't going to match that. They'll let him walk, right? And so you need the next guy. And in Bortles, you have a guy that, again, been to the playoffs, a veteran quarterback. I'm not saying he's good, but I would ask the question, can Sean Payton turn him around? He's a first-round draft pick. He's got the arm talent, loaded with talent. I don't think he ever puts it all together. I mean, I think we all see that realistically, but he fits a similar profile to Siemian in the sense that he could develop into a quality backup. He really could. I believe that. And so, again, there's really no harm in signing him here. I actually think it's a really smart move by the Saints because you risk losing Simeon. I believe that someone will probably offer him a small time deal to be a backup. A team with a bunch of cap space that wants an insurance policy. Maybe they have a younger quarterback and they want a veteran around. I bet Simeon will get an offer somewhere. It's not going to be the Case Keenum deluxe backup deal, but it could easily be, a below average backup quarterback deal. And right now, what the Saints were offering him was the bare minimum contract. That's what Blake Bortles has now. So, again, I think as you look at that, it's a smart move by the Saints. If they lose Simeon, they're going to be glad they have Bortles in the building. And look, this means nothing for Ian Book. Ian Book will continue his development, and if he's good enough in camp to cut for Bortles to get cut, that's the ideal scenario. You want Bortles out of the building because Ian Book outplayed him. That would be the ideal scenario. But right now, you don't know what quarterback is. You don't know if Jameis is going to be back. You don't know if he's going to get an offer somewhere. Taysom's coming back from Liz Frank injury. So right now, if the season started tomorrow, you don't have Simeon on a contract. You don't have, well, we'll say like after March 1st, which is when the contract's officially ended. If you start a season on March 2nd, you have Ian Book healthy and you have Bortles. That's it. Simeon's done. His contract expired. Jameis's contract is expired, and Taysom's injured. So they need more quarterbacks in the building right now, not less. And they can cut him at any time, but I think this is a good move for right now. But I am interested in seeing his development. It's not that I believe he can be a starter long term for the Saints. I don't think he's the answer, but there's like a 1% chance, maybe like a 0.5% chance. But because it's that low, it's absolutely because it's not zero. It's worth investing a minimum deal in that guy. So I actually kind of love the move. Same thing with Kevin White. Bring him back for a year. He actually did pretty good on special teams for the Saints this year as a gunner, and he's got speed. Another guy, he's never putting it all together, but you need guys like that. You need guys on your practice squad. You never know, especially in the COVID era, you never know what's going to hit you, and you have to be prepared for it. So that's the deal. Let's get to some of these comments real quick. CK, Tara Reek, Jason, you guys have been awesome about joining. Always appreciate you guys being on. Tara Reek says that Trevor Siemian coming in for an injured QB is unstoppable. Yeah, when he starts games, not so great, but when he subs, it's almost like he doesn't need a game plan. It's like go do you, just kind of wing it, and he's better that way. It's weird. Tariq also says the Saints are about to play 40 chess next year, and we have a different starter QB every game, and then they get hurt and have Trevor Siemian finish the game. I actually like that strategy. That's pretty good. CK says there's nothing wrong with being a backup. Look at Chase Daniel. Yep. Now, Chase Daniel's a guy I think that probably was not as good as Trevor Siemian, honestly. At least as good as Siemian was this year. I don't know. Like Chase Daniel, we never got a chance to see him play. He made some money with the Saints, and he developed a nice backup career. But I don't know that he never played really for the Saints. We never really got a chance to see what he could do. But I've seen some of his tape with other teams, and I got to say, like, I don't like. It's kind of remarkable how far he took it because I don't really think he was that good. But he made a lot of money, so good for him. Jason says that Bortles sets the floor for the QB room, much like Simeon did, and I think that's very well said. Probably better said in one small chat comment than I've been talking this whole time in 10 minutes. I completely agree with that. I think you set your floor, and then if you cut Bortles, that's the ideal scenario. That means that everyone has beaten Bortles, has gone above that floor, but that Bortles, as a starting QB in the NFL with playoff history, is going to give you a base minimum in terms of quarterbacking quality. And if anyone falls below that, you can cut them and not worry about it. So, the last comment I'm going to make before I jump here is quickly about Ian Book. I think it's completely unfair to judge his start just based on what he was up against. In an ideal scenario, he would have never played this year. He would have never been active for any of the games. He would have purely just been a developmental project this year. You sit, you learn, and that's benefited a lot of quarterbacks in the past. So he was thrown into the fire. He wasn't ready. He had no support around him. Half the team had COVID. Um, my thoughts on Ian Book, it's going to be really interesting. This is a big offseason for him because I believe that when you consider Taysom Hill's injury and you consider that Jameis doesn't have a contract, we don't know who the starter is right now. It's not that he's going to be able to come in, have a big offseason, and be the starter next year, but this is where he kind of decides his fate a little bit, I think. Is he a guy that improves enough that you're fine keeping him on the active roster and he's either your backup or your third string? Where like Simeon was the third string this year, right? And like they don't keep four quarterbacks this time. Like Book is the third, or is he disappointing to where I think the Saints might actually risk losing him, where they would cut him and basically say, we're going to stash you on the practice squad if you clear waivers. But if someone claims you on waivers, like we're taking that risk and we're going to lose you because I actually think the Saints would be more likely to risk it based on how bad he looked in that game. And I think other teams saw that start, and there was not a lot to get excited about with Ian Book after watching that start. So I think there is a stronger chance that the Saints will risk putting him on waivers and telling other teams like, yeah, we don't believe in this guy. You shouldn't either, kind of thing, and then put him on the practice squad. So this is a big offseason for him, and it's going to be really interesting to see if whether it's Simeon or Blake Bortles, can Ian Book earn a roster spot? Because I'd be surprised if the Saints keep four quarterbacks on the active roster next year, but we'll have to see. So anyway, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for joining. Terry, Jason Champagne, CK, you guys in particular, always great joining me. We've got double digits again on this live chat. So appreciate you coming on YouTube Live. And we got a bunch of podcasts and some player awards, player grade stuff coming this week for the $10 patrons. Again, please smash the like button. Click on that. It really helps. Share the podcast. Subscribe if you haven't already. To our YouTube channel because we'll be putting a lot of content up. And visit our website, saintshappyhour.com. Thank you guys. Who dat?